The summer sun was bright and hot as Maya Johnson walked down the busy street. She held her backpack close to her chest. Inside was something very important to her. It was a white envelope with $800 in it. Maya was only 15 years old, but she had worked hard all summer to save this money. Now she was finally going to open her very first bank account. Maya had spent the whole summer babysitting for the neighbors. Mrs. Peterson from next door had 2 young children. Every weekday from June through August, Maya would go to their house at 8 in the morning. She would make breakfast for the kids. She would play games with them. She would read them stories. She would take them to the park. Mrs. Peterson paid her $10 an hour. By the end of summer, Maya had earned $400 from babysitting alone. Her grandmother had also given her $300 for her 15th birthday last month. Grandma Rose had hugged her tight and said this money was for her future. She told Maya to save it for something important. Maya's parents had added another $100. They were proud of how hard she had worked all summer. They wanted to help her start saving for college. Maya counted that money every night. She kept it in the white envelope under her mattress. She would take it out and stack the bills carefully. $20 bills, $50 bills, even a few $100 bills from her grandmother. Each time she counted it, she felt proud. This was her money. She had earned it. Now she was going to put it somewhere safe. The bank was only 3 blocks from her house. Maya had walked past First National Bank many times before. It was a big building with glass doors and marble floors. She had always thought it looked fancy and important. Today she was finally going inside as a real customer. As Maya pushed open the heavy glass door, cold air from the air conditioning hit her face. The bank was busy. It was Friday afternoon and many people were there. Some people stood in line waiting for the tellers. Others sat in chairs filling out papers. A few people were talking to bank workers at big wooden desks. Maya looked around nervously. She had never opened a bank account before. She was not sure what to do. Should she wait in line? Should she talk to someone at a desk? She stood near the door for a moment, just watching. A security guard stood near the entrance. He was a large man in a blue uniform. He nodded at Maya but did not smile. Maya nodded back and walked toward the line of people waiting for the tellers. There were 6 people ahead of her in line. Maya waited patiently. She watched the tellers behind the counter. They were helping customers quickly. One teller was counting money. Another was typing on a computer. A third was talking to an older man about his account. Maya's hands felt sweaty. She held her backpack tighter. She could feel the envelope inside pressing against her chest. She had practiced what she would say. She would tell the teller that she wanted to open a savings account. She would explain that she was 15 and this was her first time. She hoped they would be nice and help her. The line moved slowly. One person finished and left. Then another. Maya stepped forward each time. She tried to calm her breathing. This should be easy, she told herself. People open bank accounts every day. There was nothing to be nervous about. A woman behind her in line was talking loudly on her phone. A man near the door was arguing with another security guard about parking. 2 little kids were running around while their mother tried to catch them. The bank was full of noise and movement. Finally, it was Maya's turn. The teller who became available was a white woman who looked to be in her 40s. She had short brown hair and wore a blue blazer. Her name tag said Jennifer. She did not smile when Maya approached the counter. Maya took a deep breath. She walked up to the counter and set her backpack down. Her heart was beating fast. This was it. She was really doing this. "Hello," Maya said quietly. Her voice sounded small in the big, busy bank. "I would like to open a savings account, please." Jennifer looked at her. Her expression did not change. "Do you have an adult with you?" she asked. Maya shook her head. "No, but I am 15. My mom said I can open an account by myself if I have my ID and social security card." She had looked this up online. She had made sure she had everything she needed. Jennifer sighed. "Fine, do you have money to deposit?" "Yes," Maya said. She felt excited now. This was really happening. She unzipped her backpack and pulled out the white envelope. She had written her name on it in blue pen. She placed it on the counter. Jennifer picked up the envelope. She opened it and pulled out the stack of bills. She started counting them on the counter. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. She kept counting, making neat piles of the different bills. Maya watched her count. She felt proud seeing all that money laid out. She had worked so hard for this. Every hour of babysitting. Every time she had said no to buying things she wanted so she could save instead. It had all been worth it. Jennifer finished counting. $800, she said. Her voice was flat with no emotion. Yes, Maya said, smiling a little. I saved it all summer. Jennifer did not respond. Instead, she picked up one of the $50 bills. She held it up to the light above the counter. She squinted at it, turning it this way and that way. Her eyebrows came together in a frown. Maya's smile faded. What was wrong? Why was the teller looking at her money like that? Jennifer set down that bill and picked up one of the $100 bills. Again, she held it up to the light. She rubbed it between her fingers. She brought it close to her face to look at it carefully. A cold feeling started to grow in Maya's stomach. Something was wrong. The teller was not acting normal. People in line behind Maya were starting to notice. A few of them craned their necks to see what was taking so long. Jennifer set the bill down. She looked at Maya with an expression that made Maya feel very small. Then, without saying anything to Maya, Jennifer turned around and called out, "Mr. Patterson, can you come here for a moment?" A tall white man in a gray suit walked over from his desk. He had glasses and thinning hair. His name tag said he was a supervisor. "What is it, Jennifer?" he asked. Jennifer leaned close and whispered something to him. Maya could not hear what she said, but Mr. Patterson's eyes widened. He looked at Maya, then at the money on the counter, then back at Maya. Maya's heart started pounding harder. What was happening? Why were they whispering about her? She had not done anything wrong. She had just brought in her money to open an account. Mr. Patterson picked up several of the bills. He held them up to the light just like Jennifer had done. He rubbed them between his fingers. He looked very serious. Other people in the bank were definitely watching now. The noise in the bank seemed to get a little quieter. Maya felt her face getting hot. She wanted to disappear. "Where did you get this money?" Mr. Patterson asked. His voice was not friendly. It was the kind of voice that police use on television when they think someone is lying. "I saved it," Maya said. Her voice came out smaller than she wanted. "I babysat all summer, and my grandmother gave me some for my birthday, and my parents gave me some too." Mr. Patterson and Jennifer looked at each other. They did not look like they believed her. Maya felt her throat getting tight. Tears were starting to form in her eyes, but she did not want to cry. Not here, not in front of all these people. Mr. Patterson continued examining the bills. He picked up each one slowly and carefully. He held them up to the overhead lights. He ran his fingers across the surface. He even brought some of the bills close to his nose as if he was trying to smell them. Maya stood at the counter watching him. She did not understand what was happening. Jennifer stood next to Mr. Patterson with her arms crossed. She kept glancing at Maya with a look that made Maya feel like she had done something terrible. But Maya had not done anything wrong. She had just brought her savings to the bank. The line behind Maya was getting longer. More people were waiting. Some of them were checking their watches. Others were looking at their phones. A few were staring at Maya and whispering to each other. Maya could feel their eyes on her back. "These bills look suspicious," Mr. Patterson said loudly. He was not trying to keep his voice down anymore. Several customers nearby turned to look. "We are going to need to verify these." "Verify them?" Maya asked. Her voice was shaking now. "What does that mean?" "They are real. I promise. I got them from my family and from my babysitting job." "That is what they all say," Jennifer said. She said it just loud enough for the people nearby to hear. Her tone was sharp and mean. Maya felt like someone had slapped her. What did Jennifer mean by "they all"? Who was they? Maya's face burned with embarrassment and confusion. Mr. Patterson picked up the phone on the counter. "I am calling the police," he announced. His voice carried across the bank lobby. "We have a situation here with potentially counterfeit money." The word counterfeit seemed to echo in Maya's ears. Counterfeit. That meant fake. He was saying her money was fake. He was saying she had brought fake money to the bank. He thought she was a criminal. "No," Maya said, her voice rising with panic. "No, please do not call the police. The money is real. I saved it. My grandmother gave it to me for my birthday. Please, you can call her. You can call my parents. They will tell you." But Mr. Patterson was already dialing. He held up one hand to silence Maya while he waited for someone to answer on the other end of the line. Maya felt tears spilling down her cheeks now. She could not hold them back anymore. This was supposed to be a good day. She was supposed to open her first bank account. She was supposed to feel grown up and responsible. Instead, she was being accused of having fake money. She was being treated like a thief. And now the police were being called. The entire bank seemed to go quiet. Conversations stopped. People stopped walking around. Even the children who had been running and playing stood still. Everyone was watching the scene at the teller counter. Everyone was staring at the young black girl who was crying. Some people had their phones out now. Maya saw at least 3 people pointing their phones toward her. Were they recording? Were they taking pictures? Maya wanted to hide her face, but she could not move. She was frozen in place. "Yes, this is First National Bank on Main Street," Mr. Patterson said into the phone. "We have a situation with suspected counterfeit bills. We need an officer to come down here." He paused, listening. "Yes, it is a young girl. African American. Maybe 15 or 16 years old. She brought in $800 in cash and several of the bills appear to be fake." Maya sobbed. The way he described her made her feel like a criminal. He did not say her name. He just said African American and young girl, like those things meant she was guilty. A woman in line behind Maya spoke up. "Is this really necessary?" she asked. "She is just a child." Mr. Patterson ignored the woman. He hung up the phone and looked at Maya. "The police are on their way. You need to wait here. Can I call my parents?" Maya asked through her tears. "Please, can I just call my mom?" "You can call them if you want," Mr. Patterson said. "But you are not leaving this bank until the police arrive and we sort this out." Jennifer gathered up all of Maya's money from the counter. She put it back in the white envelope. "I am taking this to the back to examine it more closely," she said. She walked away from the counter carrying Maya's envelope. Maya watched her disappear through a door behind the teller stations. That money was everything Maya had. It was her whole summer of work. It was her birthday gift from her grandmother. It was her start toward saving for college. And now Jennifer had taken it away like it was evidence of a crime. Mr. Patterson pointed to a desk area off to the side. "Come sit over here," he told Maya. It was not a request. It was an order. Maya picked up her backpack with shaking hands. She walked to the desk area. Her legs felt weak. She thought she might fall down. The security guard who had been standing near the entrance walked over and stood a few feet away from the desk. He was there to make sure Maya did not run away. Maya sat down in the chair. She pulled out her phone and called her mother with trembling fingers. The phone rang once, twice, 3 times. "Come on, Mom," Maya whispered. "Please answer." On the 4th ring, her mother picked up. "Hello, Maya?" "Mom!" Maya's voice broke. She started crying harder. "Mom, you need to come to the bank. They think my money is fake. They called the police. They won't let me leave. Mom, please come help me." "What? Slow down, baby. What happened?" "What bank?" "First National Bank on Main Street. I came to open my account and they think my money is counterfeit. The teller took it away. The police are coming." "Mom, I did not do anything wrong." Maya was crying so hard she could barely speak. "I'm coming right now," her mother said. Maya could hear the fear and anger in her voice. "Stay there. Do not say anything else to them until I get there. Do you understand? I'm leaving work right now. Your father and I will be there in 10 minutes. "Okay," Maya whispered. "Please hurry." She hung up the phone and sat there waiting. The security guard stood nearby with his arms crossed. Mr. Patterson went back to his desk but kept looking over at Maya every few seconds. The other customers in the bank tried to go back to their business, but many of them kept glancing at her. Maya had never felt so ashamed in her life. She had never been in trouble before. She was a good student. She followed the rules. She respected adults. She worked hard. And now she was being treated like a criminal in front of all these people. A few minutes later, Jennifer came back from the back room. She was carrying Maya's white envelope and something else. It was a yellow pen. Maya had seen these pens before in stores. They were used to check if money was real or fake. Jennifer walked over to the desk where Maya was sitting. Mr. Patterson came over too. Without saying a word to Maya, Jennifer pulled the bills out of the envelope again. She took the yellow pen and made marks on several of the bills. Maya watched as Jennifer marked a $20 bill. The mark stayed yellow. Jennifer frowned. She marked another $20 bill. The mark stayed yellow on that one too. She marked one of the $50 bills. Yellow again. Then she marked one of the $100 bills that Grandma Rose had given Maya. The mark turned yellow. These are passing. The pen test, Jennifer said quietly to Mr. Patterson. She sounded almost disappointed. Try the others, Mr. Patterson said. He did not look at Maya. Jennifer tested every single bill in the envelope. Every single one showed yellow marks. None of them showed the dark marks that would mean fake money. Maya wanted to scream at them. She wanted to say, "I told you so," but she was too scared and too upset to say anything. She just sat there crying quietly while they tested her money in front of everyone. The pen test is not always accurate, Mr. Patterson said. His jaw was tight. We still need to use the UV light detector, and we should wait for the police. Maya could not believe what she was hearing. Every bill had passed their test, but they still did not believe her. They still thought she was lying. They still thought she was a criminal. An older white woman who had been sitting in the waiting area stood up. She walked toward the desk where Maya was sitting. She looked angry. "Excuse me," she said in a loud, clear voice. "What exactly is going on here?" Mr. Patterson turned to face her. "This is bank business, ma'am. Please return to your seat." "I am a customer at this bank," the woman said. She did not move. "I have been banking here for 40 years, and I have been sitting over there watching this entire situation. That young girl has been crying for 15 minutes while you humiliate her in front of everyone. You tested her money and it all passed. So why are you still treating her like a criminal? We have procedures we must follow," Mr. Patterson said stiffly. "I have been coming to this bank twice a week for 40 years, the woman continued. "I have never once seen you test anyone else's money like this. I have never seen you call the police on any other customer. I watched that girl walk in here excited to open her first bank account. And you have traumatized her." Some of the other customers started nodding. One man said, "She is right." "This seems excessive," another woman spoke up. "Those bills all passed the test. Why are you still questioning her?" Mr. Patterson's face turned red. "Everyone please return to your own business. We are handling this situation appropriately." But the older woman did not back down. She walked over to Maya and put a gentle hand on her shoulder. "What is your name, dear?" she asked kindly. "Maya," she answered in a small voice. "My name is Eleanor Richardson," the woman said, "and I am going to stay right here with you until this is resolved." Maya looked up at Mrs. Richardson with tears streaming down her face. This stranger was being kinder to her than any of the bank employees. Mrs. Richardson pulled a tissue from her purse and handed it to Maya. Maya took it and wiped her eyes, but more tears just kept coming. "Thank you," Maya whispered. Mrs. Richardson nodded and then turned back to Mr. Patterson. "I am waiting for an explanation," she said firmly. "Why are you treating this child this way?" Mr. Patterson shifted uncomfortably. More customers were watching now. Some had stopped their transactions at other teller windows. Others had come in through the front door and sensed that something was wrong. The atmosphere in the bank felt heavy and tense. "We have reason to believe that some of the bills this young woman brought in may be counterfeit," Mr. Patterson said. He was using his official voice, the one that was supposed to sound professional and important. "It is our responsibility to verify all deposits and protect the integrity of our institution." "But the bills all passed your test," Mrs. Richardson pointed out. "I watched the teller test every single one with that pen. They all passed. So what exactly is the problem now?" Jennifer spoke up from behind the counter. "The counterfeit pen is not foolproof. Sophisticated counterfeiters can sometimes create bills that pass the pen test. We need to use additional verification methods, then use them," Mrs. Richardson said, raising her voice slightly. "Use whatever methods you need to use. But do it quickly and stop making this poor child sit here on display like she is a criminal. You have been dragging this out for almost 20 minutes now." Maya pulled her knees up to her chest in the chair. She made herself as small as possible. She wished she could disappear. She wished she had never come to this bank. She wished she had just kept her money hidden under her mattress at home. The front door of the bank opened and a young black man walked in. He was maybe in his 20s, wearing jeans and a college sweatshirt. He got in line behind the other customers, but immediately noticed the commotion. His eyes went to Maya sitting at the desk with the security guard standing nearby. He saw her tear-stained face. He saw Mrs. Richardson standing protectively beside her. He saw Mr. Patterson and Jennifer huddled together looking at a pile of money on the desk. The young man stepped out of line and walked closer. "Excuse me," he said. "What is happening here?" "Sir, please stay in line," the security guard said. "I am a customer," the young man said. "I have a right to know if there is some kind of security situation happening in the bank I use." Mr. Patterson sighed with frustration. "Everything is under control. Please return to the line," but the young man did not move. He looked at Maya again. Recognition seemed to dawn on his face. He had seen this before. Maybe not exactly this situation, but something similar. He knew what was happening here. He pulled out his cell phone and held it up. "I am going to record this," he said calmly. "It is my legal right to record in a public space. I want to make sure everything is done properly." "You cannot record in here," Jennifer said sharply. "Actually, I can," the young man said. He was polite but firm. "This is a public business. You cannot stop me from recording in a public place. I am not recording private banking information. I am documenting how you are treating this young woman." Mr. Patterson looked angry, but he did not argue. He knew the young man was right. Several other people pulled out their phones too. Within moments, at least 5 people were holding up their phones, recording everything that was happening. Maya felt a strange mix of emotions. She was grateful that people were paying attention and trying to help. But she also felt even more exposed and humiliated. Now there would be videos of her crying in the bank. Those videos might end up on the internet. Everyone at her school might see them. The young man with the phone introduced himself. "My name is Marcus Williams. I am a law student at the university. Can someone explain to me what is happening and why this young lady is being detained?" "She is not being detained," Mr. Patterson said quickly. "She is waiting while we verify her deposit." "How long has she been waiting?" Marcus asked. Mrs. Richardson answered. "At least 20 minutes. They accused her of bringing fake money. They tested it with their pen and every single bill passed. But they are still making her wait." "They called the police." Marcus's eyebrows went up. "You called the police? On a child? For bringing in money to open an account?" "The money looked suspicious," Jennifer said defensively. "What made it look suspicious?" Marcus asked. He was still recording with his phone. "Can you describe specifically what was wrong with these bills?" Jennifer and Mr. Patterson looked at each other. Neither of them answered right away. "I will tell you what was suspicious," Mrs. Richardson said, her voice sharp with anger. "The color of this child's skin. That is what was suspicious to them. I have been sitting in this bank for the past hour. I watched at least a dozen other customers make deposits. I saw 2 other teenagers deposit money. Both of them were white. Neither of them had their money questioned. Neither of them had to take a pen test. Neither of them had the police called on them." "That is not true," Mr. Patterson said, but his face was getting redder. "We treat all customers equally. Then why do I feel like I am being profiled?" Maya said suddenly. Her voice was quiet, but everyone heard her. The bank was so silent now that you could have heard a pin drop. "I did everything right. I brought my ID. I brought my social security card. I saved my money all summer. I have never been in trouble. I am a good student. I go to church with my family. But you looked at me and decided I must be doing something wrong." Tears were flowing freely down Maya's face again. "You did not even ask me questions first. You just assumed the money was fake. You called the police on me. Do you know how scary that is? I am 15 years old and you called the police on me for trying to open a savings account." Several people in the bank looked down at the floor. A few women were wiping their own eyes. Even some of the other tellers behind the counter looked uncomfortable. They had been watching this whole thing and no one had stepped in to help Maya. No one had questioned what Mr. Patterson and Jennifer were doing. The front door opened again and 2 police officers walked in. They were both white men. One was older with gray hair. The other was younger, maybe in his 30s. They looked around the bank and walked toward Mr. Patterson. Maya's heart started pounding even harder. The police were here. This was real. This was actually happening to her. "I am Officer Davis," the older one said to Mr. Patterson. "We got a call about counterfeit money?" "Yes, officer," Mr. Patterson said. He sounded relieved to see them. "This young woman brought in $800 to deposit. We tested the bills and they passed the pen test, but we still have concerns. We wanted you here while we do additional verification." Officer Davis looked at Maya. His face was hard to read. Then he looked at all the people holding up their phones recording. He looked at Mrs. Richardson standing protectively next to Maya. He looked at Marcus, who was still recording everything on his phone. "How long has she been here?" Officer Davis asked. "About 20 minutes, Mr. Patterson said. "And you already tested the money?" "Yes, with the counterfeit pen. All bills passed." Officer Davis looked at his partner and then back at Mr. Patterson. "So what exactly do you need us for?"
"If the bills passed your test, why did you call us?"
Mr. Patterson seemed to stumble over his words. We thought it would be appropriate to have law enforcement present during the additional verification process." "Have you done additional verification yet?" Officer Davis asked. "Not yet. We were waiting for you." Officer Davis's expression showed what he thought of that explanation. He turned to Maya. "What is your name, miss?" "Maya Johnson," she said quietly. "How old are you?" 15. "Where did you get this money?" Maya took a shaky breath. "I babysat all summer for my neighbors. They paid me $10 an hour. I earned $400. My grandmother gave me $300 for my birthday last month. My parents gave me $100. I saved it all to open a bank account." Officer Davis nodded. "Do you have receipts or any proof of this?" "Mrs. Peterson next door can tell you about the babysitting. My grandmother can tell you about the birthday money. My parents can tell you. I can call them all right now." "Her parents are already on their way," Mrs. Richardson said. "They should be here any minute." Officer Davis looked around the bank again. He seemed to be assessing the whole situation. He looked at the phones recording. He looked at the other customers who were all watching and listening. He looked at Maya's tear-stained face. He looked at the pile of bills on the desk. "Let me see the money," he said to Mr. Patterson. Mr. Patterson handed him the white envelope with Maya's money. Officer Davis pulled out the bills and examined them. He held them up to the light. He felt the paper. He looked at them carefully. "These look fine to me," he said. "They feel right. The paper quality is correct. I do not see any obvious signs of counterfeiting." "But we need to do the UV light test," Jennifer insisted. "Then do it," Officer Davis said. "But do it now. This girl has been sitting here long enough." Jennifer went to get the UV light machine from the back room. Jennifer returned from the back room carrying a small black box. It was the UV light detector, a machine that would show special security features on real money that could not be seen with regular light. She set it on the desk near Maya with more force than necessary. The thud made Maya jump. "Let us get this over with," Officer Davis said. He sounded tired and a little annoyed. Maya got the feeling that he thought this whole situation was a waste of his time. Jennifer plugged in the UV light machine. A purple-blue glow came from the small box. She took the first bill from the envelope, one of Maya's $20 bills. She slid it under the UV light. Immediately, security features became visible. A strip glowed on one side of the bill. Special fibers in the paper lit up in tiny red and blue spots. The number 20 glowed in the corner. "That one is real," Officer Davis said. Jennifer's mouth formed a tight line. She did not say anything. She took another $20 bill and put it under the light. The same security features appeared, glowing in the UV light. "Real," Officer Davis said again. One by one, Jennifer tested every single bill in Maya's envelope. The 20s, the 50s, the hundreds that Grandma Rose had given Maya for her birthday. Every single bill showed the proper security features under the UV light. Every single one was genuine. Maya watched the testing with her heart pounding. She already knew her money was real, but watching each bill pass the test made her feel a tiny bit of relief. Maybe now they would finally believe her. Maybe now this nightmare would be over. When the last bill was tested, Jennifer unplugged the UV light machine. She looked at Mr. Patterson. Neither of them said anything for a long moment. "So," Mrs. Richardson said, breaking the silence. Her voice was sharp and cold. "Every single bill passed your tests, both the pen test and the UV light test. This young lady's money is completely real and legitimate. Does anyone here have anything to say to her?" Mr. Patterson cleared his throat. "Yes, well, the money appears to be authentic." "Appears to be?" Marcus said from where he stood still, recording on his phone. "There is no appears to be. The money is authentic. You tested it twice. It passed both times. You put this child through 25 minutes of humiliation and fear for nothing." "We were following standard security procedures," Jennifer said. Her voice was defensive and sharp. "Really? Mrs. Richardson said. Because I have been a customer here for 40 years. I have made hundreds of deposits. I have never once had my money tested. I have never had my money questioned. So tell me, what exactly triggered your standard security procedures in this case? No one answered. The silence in the bank was heavy and uncomfortable. Everyone knew the answer, even if no one wanted to say it out loud. The front door burst open and a woman rushed in. She was a black woman in her late 30s, wearing scrubs from the hospital where she worked as a nurse. Right behind her was a black man in a work shirt and jeans. Maya's parents had arrived. "Maya!" her mother called out. She ran toward the desk where Maya was sitting. "Baby, are you okay?" Maya stood up and ran into her mother's arms. She buried her face in her mother's shoulder and started sobbing again. All the fear and humiliation and anger came pouring out. Her mother held her tight, stroking her hair and saying, "It is okay, baby. Mama is here now. It is okay." Maya's father looked around the bank. He saw the police officers. He saw the security guard. He saw Mr. Patterson and Jennifer standing near the desk with his daughter's money spread out. His face showed confusion and then anger. "What is going on here?" he demanded. "Why were the police called? What happened to my daughter?" Officer Davis stepped forward. "Sir, I am Officer Davis. Your daughter came in to open a bank account. The bank employees suspected that her money might be counterfeit. They called us to be present while they verified the bills. We just finished testing. All of the money is legitimate. There is no problem." "No problem?" Maya's father's voice rose. "My daughter called her mother crying and terrified, saying the police were called on her. She has been sitting here in front of all these people being treated like a criminal. And you say there is no problem?" "Mr. Johnson, please calm down," Mr. Patterson said. "Do not tell me to calm down," Maya's father said. "My 15-year-old daughter came to your bank to open her first savings account. She worked all summer babysitting to save that money. Her grandmother gave her birthday money, and you accused her of bringing fake money. You called the police on a child who has never been in any kind of trouble in her life." Maya's mother was crying now too as she held Maya. "How could you do this to her?" she asked. "How could you scare her like this?" Mrs. Richardson spoke up. "Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, my name is Eleanor Richardson. I have been a customer at this bank for 40 years. I witnessed this entire situation from the beginning. Your daughter did nothing wrong. She was polite and respectful. She explained where the money came from. But from the moment she approached that counter, she was treated with suspicion and hostility." "Why?" Maya's mother asked, though her voice made it clear she already knew the answer. "Why was she treated that way?" Mrs. Richardson looked directly at Mr. Patterson and Jennifer. "I think we all know why. I have been sitting in this bank for the past hour and a half. I watched at least 15 other customers make deposits. 2 of them were teenagers, both white. Neither of them had their money questioned or tested. But the moment this beautiful young black girl approached the counter with her hard-earned savings, she was treated like a suspect." "That is not fair," Jennifer protested. "We were doing our job." "Your job is not to racially profile children," Marcus said loudly. He was still recording. "I have been standing here watching this whole thing. I recorded everything that happened after I arrived. This was discrimination, plain and simple." Several other customers murmured their agreement. An older man said, "I am ashamed to bank here after watching this." A woman holding her child said, "I am going to close my account. I do not want to support a business that treats people this way." Officer Davis looked around at the growing anger in the room. He looked at his partner, Officer Mitchell, who had been quiet the whole time. They both looked uncomfortable. "Listen," Officer Davis said, holding up his hands. "I understand everyone is upset, but the bank did test the money and it all came back legitimate. So there is nothing for us to do here. No crime was committed." "Yes, there was," Marcus said. "This is discrimination. This is racial profiling. That is illegal." "I am not a lawyer," Officer Davis said. "If they want to pursue a complaint, they can do that through the proper channels. But right now there is no criminal matter here." Mrs. Richardson looked at Maya's parents. "If you want to file a complaint, I will gladly serve as a witness. I saw everything." I will tell anyone who asks exactly what happened here today. Thank you, Maya's mother said to Mrs. Richardson. She looked at her daughter's face, red and swollen from crying. We will definitely be filing complaints. With the bank. With the police department. With anyone who will listen. Mr. Patterson finally showed some emotion. He looked worried now. Perhaps we should all step into my office and discuss this calmly, he said. There is nothing to discuss, Maya's father said. Give us my daughter's money, we are leaving. Jennifer started gathering the bills back into the white envelope. As she did, another man approached the desk. He was an Asian American man in his 50s wearing an expensive suit. His name tag identified him as David Chen, the bank manager. What is happening out here? Mr. Chen asked. I heard raised voices. Mr. Patterson quickly tried to explain. There was a situation with a suspected counterfeit deposit, but we have resolved it. The money is legitimate. Mr. Chen looked at Maya, still being held by her mother. He looked at her father's angry face. He looked at the police officers. He looked at all the customers watching with their phones out recording. His expression changed from confusion to concern, to something like horror as he realized what had happened. Tell me exactly what occurred here, Mr. Chen said to Mr. Patterson. As Mr. Patterson explained, Mr. Chen's face became more and more serious. He listened without interrupting. When Mr. Patterson finished, Mr. Chen turned to Maya and her parents. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson and Maya, I am David Chen, the manager of this branch. On behalf of First National Bank, I want to apologize. What happened here today should never have happened. You were treated unfairly. Unfairly? Maya's mother said. That is a very gentle word for what happened here. My daughter was racially profiled. She was humiliated in front of all these people. She was made to feel like a criminal for the crime of being black and having savings. Mr. Chen nodded slowly. You are absolutely right, and I am deeply sorry. This is not acceptable. This is not how we train our employees to behave. This is not the values our bank stands for. Then why did it happen? Maya's father asked. If this is not your values, why did your employees treat my daughter this way? Mr. Chen did not have a good answer to that question. He looked at Mr. Patterson and Jennifer. They both looked down at the floor, avoiding his gaze. The silence stretched out uncomfortably. That is what I thought, Maya's father said bitterly. You do not have an answer because the answer is racism. Your employees saw a young black girl with cash and immediately assumed something was wrong. They did not give her the benefit of the doubt. They did not treat her with respect. They jumped straight to suspicion and accusation. I want to make this right, Mr. Chen said. Please let me open Maya's savings account personally. And the bank would like to add a $200 deposit as an apology for what happened today. Maya's mother laughed, but there was no humor in it. You think money fixes this? You think $200 makes up for traumatizing my child? For making her feel like a criminal? For teaching her that she will be treated as suspicious just for existing in the world while black? No, Mr. Chen said quietly. No amount of money can fix this. But it is the least we can do, and I want you to know that there will be consequences for what happened here. This will be investigated. Our employees will receive additional training on bias and customer service. Mrs. Richardson spoke up again. Mr. Chen, I appreciate that you are taking this seriously, but I have to tell you, as someone who has banked here for 4 decades, I am disgusted by what I witnessed today. I am a white woman. I have never once been treated the way Maya was treated today. I have deposited cash hundreds of times. Never tested, never questioned. I have been treated with respect and the assumption that I am honest. Maya deserved that same treatment. You are absolutely right, Mr. Chen said. He looked genuinely upset. Mrs. Richardson, I recognize you. You have been a valued customer for many years, and you are right. Every customer deserves to be treated with respect and dignity. Every customer deserves the benefit of the doubt. We failed Maya today. We failed badly. Marcus, who was still recording, said, I am uploading this video to social media. People need to know how this bank treats young black customers. People need to see what happened here. Mr. Patterson looked panicked. Please, that is not necessary. We are handling this internally. No, Marcus said firmly. You had your chance to handle this properly. You should have handled it properly from the beginning. Instead, you humiliated a child. The public has a right to know about this. Several other customers nodded their agreement. One woman said, I'm sharing this story too. My friends need to know what kind of business this is. Mr. Chen knew he was losing control of the situation. He could see it spiraling. Please, he said to Maya's parents, let me at least open Maya's account and process her deposit properly. You came here for a service and we should provide it. Maya's father looked at his daughter. Maya, what do you want to do? Maya wiped her eyes with the tissue Mrs. Richardson had given her. She thought about it. Part of her wanted to take her money and never come back to this bank. Part of her wanted to run away and forget this ever happened. But another part of her was angry. She had worked hard for this money. She had a right to open a bank account. She had a right to be treated fairly. I want to open my account, Maya said quietly. I worked hard for this money. I should not have to go somewhere else because they treated me badly. They should have to do better. Her mother hugged her again. That is my brave girl, she whispered. Mr. Chen nodded. Thank you, Maya. I will personally open your account. Please come to my office where we can do this properly and privately. No, Maya said, surprising everyone. Do it here, at the counter. Like it should have been done in the first place. Everyone already watched them accuse me. Everyone already saw me cry. They should see me open my account too. They should see that I was right all along. There was power in Maya's voice that had not been there before. She was scared and hurt, but she was also strong. She was not going to hide anymore. Mr. Chen looked surprised but nodded. Of course. Whatever makes you most comfortable. He walked over to one of the teller windows and logged into the computer. Maya, please come here, he said gently. Maya walked to the counter, her mother on one side and her father on the other. Mrs. Richardson followed and stood nearby. Marcus kept recording. The other customers watched silently. Mr. Chen smiled at Maya kindly. First, I need some information from you. Can I see your ID and social security card? Maya pulled them from her backpack and handed them over. Mr. Chen looked at them carefully. Thank you. So you want to open a savings account today? Yes, Maya said. Excellent. That is a very responsible decision. Saving money at your age is very smart. Mr. Chen typed information into the computer. He explained each step as he went. He was treating Maya with the respect and kindness she should have received from the beginning. Your initial deposit is $800, correct? Yes. Mr. Chen counted the money carefully and respectfully. He did not hold the bills up to the light. He did not rub them between his fingers. He did not treat them with suspicion. He counted them like they were what they were, a young girl's hard-earned savings. $800 exactly, he confirmed. And as I mentioned, First National Bank would like to add $200 to your account as an apology for today's experience. That brings your opening balance to $1,000. Maya did not know what to say. $1,000. She had never had that much money before. Even though she knew it did not fix what happened, it was still a lot of money. Thank you, she said quietly. Mr. Chen continued processing the account. He explained about interest rates and ATM cards and online banking. He was patient and thorough. He made sure Maya understood everything. Finally, he printed out some papers and handed them to Maya. Congratulations, Maya. Your savings account is now open. Here is your receipt showing your balance of $1,000. Your debit card will arrive in the mail in 5 to 7 business days. Is there anything else I can help you with today? No, thank you, Maya said. Mr. Chen reached out his hand to shake Maya's hand. I am truly sorry for what happened to you today. You deserved better. I promise you that we will do better in the future. Maya shook his hand but did not say anything. She was too tired and too emotionally drained. Mr. Chen turned to Mr. Patterson and Jennifer, who were still standing nearby. Both of you, please come to my office immediately. They followed him toward the back offices. As they walked away, Maya heard Mr. Chen say in a serious voice, We need to have a very serious conversation about what happened here today and about your futures with this bank. Officer Davis approached Maya's family. I am glad this got resolved, he said. For what it is worth, I do not think calling us was necessary. This should have been handled differently from the start. Then maybe you should say that to your superiors, Maya's mother said. Maybe you should speak up when you see something wrong instead of just going along with it. Officer Davis looked uncomfortable but nodded. You are right. I will include my observations in my report. He and Officer Mitchell left the bank. Mrs. Richardson hugged Maya gently. You are a remarkable young woman, she told her. What you did today took courage. Standing up for yourself when you were scared and hurt. That takes real strength. Thank you for helping me, Maya said. Thank you for staying with me. Of course, dear. I could not stand by and watch them treat you that way. No one should have to go through what you went through. Mrs. Richardson wrote her phone number on a piece of paper and gave it to Maya's mother. If you need a witness for any complaints or legal action, please do not hesitate to call me. I will tell anyone who asks exactly what I saw. Thank you so much, Maya's mother said. She was crying again, but this time from gratitude. Thank you for standing up for my baby when no one else would. Marcus came over too. I got everything on video, he said. I am going to post it online, but I wanted to make sure that is okay with you first. Maya's parents looked at each other, then at Maya. What do you think, sweetheart? Her father asked. Maya thought about it. She did not want to be on the internet. She did not want people at school to see her crying. But she also thought about other kids like her. Other black children who might go through the same thing. Maybe if people saw what happened, it would help prevent it from happening to someone else. Post it, Maya said. People should know. Other families should know what this bank did. Marcus nodded. I will blur your face if you want. I can keep you anonymous. No, Maya said. Show my face. I do not want to hide. I did nothing wrong. By the time Maya and her parents left the bank, it was late afternoon. The sun was still bright outside, but Maya felt like she had been in that bank for days. Her eyes were sore from crying. Her head hurt. She was exhausted in a way she had never been before. Not physically tired, but emotionally drained. They walked to their car in silence. Maya sat in the back seat and stared out the window. Her parents looked at each other in the front seat, their faces showing anger and sadness and helplessness all at once. Are you hungry, baby? Her mother asked gently as they drove home. Do you want to stop somewhere for food? Maya shook her head. She did not want food. She did not want anything except to be home in her room. When they got home, Maya went straight upstairs. She lay down on her bed and stared at the ceiling. Her phone kept buzzing with text messages. Her best friend Jasmine had heard something happened and was asking if Maya was okay. But Maya did not have the energy to respond. Downstairs, she could hear her parents talking in low, angry voices. She heard her father say something about calling a lawyer. She heard her mother crying. Maya put her pillow over her head to block out the sounds. That evening, Marcus posted the video online. He shared it on multiple social media platforms with a caption that explained what happened. The video showed the entire scene. Mr. Patterson examining the bills with suspicion, Jennifer testing them with the pen, Maya crying at the desk, Mrs. Richardson standing up for her, the police arriving, and finally the bills being proven legitimate. The video spread quickly. Within hours, thousands of people had viewed it. By the next morning, hundreds of thousands of people had seen it. People were outraged. They shared the video with comments like, "This is unacceptable," and "This poor child," and "This is racism in action." Local news stations picked up the story. A reporter called Maya's parents and asked if they could interview Maya. Her parents said no at first. They wanted to protect their daughter, but Maya surprised them. "I will do it," she said. "I want to tell my story. People should know what happened." So on Sunday afternoon, 2 days after the bank incident, a news crew came to their house. They set up cameras in the living room. A kind reporter named Sarah Chen sat with Maya and asked her questions gently. "Can you tell us what happened on Friday?" Sarah asked. Maya took a deep breath. It was still hard to talk about, but she told the story. She explained how excited she had been to open her first bank account, how she had saved all summer, how proud she had felt of her $800. She described the moment when the teller started examining her money suspiciously, the way Mr. Patterson had called the police without even asking her questions first, the humiliation of sitting there while everyone watched. "How did it make you feel?" Sarah asked. "Scared," Maya said honestly, "and embarrassed, and angry. I felt like I was being treated like a criminal just because of the color of my skin. I kept thinking about how I had worked so hard for that money, and they just assumed I had done something wrong. They did not even give me a chance to explain before they decided I was suspicious." "What do you want people to learn from your experience?" Sarah asked. Maya thought carefully before answering. "I want people to know that things like this really happen. Some people do not believe it. They think racism is not a problem anymore, but it is. It happened to me. and I am just 15 years old trying to save money for college. If it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. The interview aired that evening on the local news. More people saw it. The story kept growing. First National Bank released an official statement. They apologized for the incident. They said it did not reflect their values. They announced that Jennifer had been suspended without pay pending a full investigation. Mr. Patterson had been reassigned to a position where he would not interact with customers. All bank employees would be required to complete training on unconscious bias and cultural sensitivity. But many people thought that was not enough. Several civil rights organizations called for stronger action. Some people organized protests outside the bank. Others started a campaign encouraging people to close their accounts and take their business elsewhere. Mrs. Richardson closed her account after 40 years. She made sure the bank knew why. "I cannot support a business that treats children this way," she told the manager. "Until I see real, meaningful change, I am taking my money somewhere else." Dozens of other longtime customers did the same. The story went beyond just the local area. National news picked it up. Reporters from major newspapers wrote articles about Maya's experience as an example of how racial profiling affects even children in everyday situations. Maya's story became part of a larger conversation about race in America. Maya returned to school the following Monday. She was nervous about what people would say. Would they make fun of her for crying on camera? Would they think she was making a big deal out of nothing? But when she walked into school, something unexpected happened. Students she barely knew came up to her to say they were sorry for what happened. Her teachers were extra kind. Even the principal called her into his office, not to punish her, but to tell her he was proud of her courage. At lunch, Maya sat with her best friend Jasmine and some other friends. "You are famous," Jasmine said, half joking but also serious. "Everyone is talking about what happened to you." "I do not want to be famous," Maya said. "I just wanted to open a bank account." "I know," Jasmine said, squeezing her hand. "But maybe some good can come from this. Maybe it will help other people." And slowly Maya started to see that maybe Jasmine was right. She received messages from other young black people who told her similar stories. A boy wrote to her about being followed around in stores. A girl told her about being questioned by police while just sitting in a park. An older woman thanked her for speaking up and said she experienced things like this all the time, but never felt she could say anything. Maya's parents decided to file formal complaints. They filed one with the bank's corporate office. They filed another with the State Banking Commission. They filed one with the police department about how the officers responded. They contacted a civil rights lawyer who said they might have a case for discrimination. 3 weeks after the incident, Mr. Chen called Maya's parents. First National Bank wanted to meet with them. They wanted to discuss not just Maya's case, but larger changes to prevent this from happening again. The meeting took place at the bank's regional headquarters. Maya and her parents sat across a large conference table from Mr. Chen and several executives from the corporate office. They brought Mrs. Richardson as a witness, and they brought their lawyer too. The bank executives apologized again, but this time, they also presented a plan for change. They were implementing mandatory bias training for all employees at all branches. They were changing their policies about when money needed to be tested and examined. They were creating a clear protocol that treated all customers equally regardless of their appearance. They were establishing a customer advocacy position at each branch, someone customers could talk to if they felt they were treated unfairly. "These are good steps," Maya's father said. "But how do we know they will actually happen? How do we know this is not just public relations? We want Maya to be part of ensuring accountability," one of the executives said. She was a black woman named Dr. Patricia Williams, the bank's new diversity officer. "We would like to invite Maya to be part of a youth advisory council we are creating. Young people from diverse backgrounds who can give us feedback on our policies and practices. We want to learn from what happened and truly do better." Maya looked at her parents. They looked at her. "What do you think?" her mother asked. "I will do it," Maya said. "But only if you really listen. Only if you really make changes. I do not want to be there just so you can say you have young people involved. I want my voice to actually matter." "It will," Dr. Williams promised. "I give you my word." The months that followed were challenging. Maya dealt with attention she never wanted. Some people online criticized her, saying she was overreacting or making it about race when it was not. But many more people supported her. She received letters from people all over the country, telling her she was brave. Maya attended her first Youth Advisory Council meeting at the bank in October. There were 10 other teenagers there, from different backgrounds and different communities. Together, they reviewed the bank's new policies. They suggested changes. They shared their own experiences. And the bank executives listened. Jennifer never returned to work at the bank. She was let go during the investigation. Mr. Patterson completed bias training and remained in his non-customer-facing role, but several months later he quit and found work elsewhere. Maya went back to First National Bank a few times after the incident. Each time was hard. Each time brought back memories of that awful Friday afternoon. But each time she was treated with respect. The employees knew who she was. They were kind. They thanked her for helping make the bank better. On her 16th birthday, almost a year after the incident, Maya checked her bank account. Between her savings and the interest it had earned, she now had nearly $1,500. She smiled, thinking about how far she had come.